Saints in their navy blue and Columbia blue. Therrell in their white trimmed in red and black. And the opening kick's going to be taken at the 7-yard line. And the return by number 0, who's not on our roster, up to the 27-yard line.
You see right there, Therrell has the full team fitted with those Guardian caps. That's something Coach Jamison got this offseason with the grant program through the Atlanta Falcons. And that is something that we are seeing more and more programs take advantage of.
So our first chance to see the Panthers on offense, and we eagerly await to see who's going to be the quarterback. When we talked to them yesterday, they still had not made that decision. It looks like it's going to be number 1, Jalen McCord, who's going to line up and take the snaps here. So McCord out of the shotgun, and the play is going to get blown up in the backfield. Big-time play for the Saints right off the bat. Christian Brodnecks, their sophomore nose tackle, blew it up, number 33.
Yeah, here's the replay, just right in front of him, gets through the middle. And looks like number 9, Jaden Hagens, outside linebacker, the senior, was in on that initial hit.
So 2nd down and 13, loss of yardage on the play. And going to try to set up a screen play, and it gets blown up at the 25-yard line. Not a lot going here for Therrell in the opening couple of snaps as they're going backwards.
See who gets through there first. Massive pressure. He tries to loft it over. Nice tackle by number 12.
That was Deavante Franklin who caught that screen pass. It's 3rd down and 13. And movement at the top of your screen as the wide receivers jumped off sides.
Penalty, 3rd down.
5-yard mark off against the Panthers pushes them back to the 21-yard line. 3rd and 18. Going 4 wides, 2 on each side. McCord scrambles, looking downfield, points and throws, incomplete, and it's going to be 4th down. So we'll see who comes out to punt. We were told it was going to be either Jordan Taylor or Jeremiah Johnson, but both are 45 on the roster. So we got a 47 lining up the punt. So 4th down and Therrell punting from the 9-yard line. Punt goes straight up in the air and hits at the 29, and Therrell will down it at the 32-yard line, and Cedar Grove is going to have excellent field position for their opening offensive possession of the game. Saints on offense when we get back.
This is a Peachtree Sports Network weather update, powered by Atlanta News First. Sponsored by Cool Ray.
And happy Friday to you, everybody. I'm meteorologist Rodney Harris. It will be hot today, hotter than it was on.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing we do to keep us focused.
What do you do to keep your head in the game? To drown out the self-doubt and help your mental health.
Because being the best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health.
Find the resources you need to keep your mental health
Back at Buck Godfrey Stadium, Matt Stewart, Craig Sager Jr. and the Saints going on offense for the first time today. Craig, they get a great gift in that the punt was very poor, so they take over at the Therrell 33 for their opening possession.
Yeah, it was nearly blocked. Could have turned into a touchdown, but it's going to be about a 15-yard punt instead. Fantastic field position for the Saints.
And they are going to have the freshman Brandon Davis starting the game at quarterback. That was a question mark for the Saints coming into the game. Would they go with Brandon Davis or Josiah Moore? They've elected to go with the freshman, who they're very high on, was a star at Cedar Grove Middle School last year. So Davis going to go to the air, and it goes through the hands of his intended target. It's going to be second down. A little bit too much mustard on that pass across the middle.
But you see the confidence in Coach Freeman going through the air. First offensive play with the freshman.
You see his running back, zero, Mekhi Watson, had only 19 carries a year ago, but Coach Freeman is expecting this young man to have a breakout season. Second down and 10. Play action, thrown, and complete at the 21-yard line. Nice catch.
Nice RPO. He's going to pull it back in. Nice low pass on the slant, and that will move the chains.
Kier Kelly with the reception and a 1st and 10 for the Saints at the 21-yard line. Watson gets the handoff, and Watson right up the middle down to the 13-yard line. Mekhi Watson, a 5'11", 190-pound senior. Or was that Watson, or was that 6 Jermaine Kelly? It looked like 0. It's 0. So that's Mekhi Watson with his first carry of the game. Second down. Watson again, a big back, goes off left tackle, and he's got a first down inside the 10 at the 8. First and goal to go now for the Saints. Look at the team resume for the Saints, brought to you by Smart Local 85. Rich Freeman, first-year head coach after leading Morehouse for 16 seasons, led the Maroon Tigers, their first D2 playoff berth in program history. Back to live action, and the handoff goes to Watson, and Watson inside the 5 down to the 3.
And then, Matt, you were talking to Coach Freeman about that year he spent last season at Drew High School as the defensive coordinator, just what that taught him about coaching at the high school level.
Yeah, it gave him a taste of the high school game, and he decided that's something he wanted to do with his career. Watson crashes into the end zone for the touchdown. And Cedar Grove has taken the early lead on the 0 FG touchdown.
Yeah, just a really nice drive. A good mix of the pass and run, and having a lot of success up the middle.
The PAT, more with the put down, and the kick is up, and the kick is good. And Cedar Grove with a 7-0 lead 4 minutes into this game.
And they took advantage of that great field position, marched right down the field, and their first score of the season.
Took advantage of that poor punt, went 33 yards on the scoring drive. Good start to the season for Rich Freeman and his Cedar Grove Saints. Look at the Therrell resume. B.J. Jamison in his 5th season as their coach has gone 20-22 at his alma mater. Last season, beaten in the first round of the state playoffs by eventual state champion Carver Columbus.
And that's a tough draw in the first round.
That's a tough draw in the semifinal.
Yeah.
That's a tough draw for anybody. Carver Columbus, in my preseason rankings, I don't think there's a bigger favorite in any classification bigger than Carver Columbus is in AA.
Yeah, to dominate that much and then return to everyone, they are a scary team this season.
They're a 2A team in classification. They are a 6A team in talent.
Yep. And what do you think about Jarvis Jones taking over?
I think it was a tremendous move. I mean, one of the greatest players in program history, one of the greatest players in state history, won a Butkus Award at the University of Georgia and was a first-round draft pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers after Pierre Coffey got him to the state championship and won it last year. Now Jarvis Jones comes in. Great move, and I expect Carver Columbus to not miss a beat this year. Kick goes out of bounds, so Therrell will get the ball at the 35. Let's take a look at the Therrell Panthers on offense. It's brought to you by Rome Floyd Chamber. Jeremy Streety at wide receiver is a guy to keep your eye on. They feel like he's a very dynamic wide receiver if they can get him the ball. And of course, we've already seen Terrence Johnson is not starting at quarterback today. Jalen McCord is instead. It kind of just exemplifies how these teams, in particular, Therrell in flux coming into the season opener. They still have questions to be answered, and using this season opener, Craig, to answer some of those questions. So McCord going to hand it off. And about a 6-yard gain. Ball pops out at the end of the play. They're going to rule it down by contact with the ground. And we also have a flag down on the field on the run by Carmelo Lofton. Or actually, that I think it was Daviante Franklin, number 3. Have a holding call going against the Panthers. They're going to race about a 6-7 yard run right there. So that'll push the ball back to the 27. And 1st and 15. Actually going to be more like 1st and 18. Ball is loose, and looks like the Saints may have gotten on top of it. And the Saints end up with it at the 20-yard line.
So the snap didn't look particularly high, but you can see him bobble it upwards. And then at that point, you might just have to play it safe. And see right there.
Well, I think you're seeing the result of the fact that when we talked to them yesterday, they still didn't know who their starting quarterback was going to be yet. So, I mean, they went down to 0 hour before making that decision. I think it's kind of showing here today, and not putting it all on the quarterback. They got a lot more issues than just that right now as Cedar Grove takes over at the 20-yard line. Running a reverse into the end zone, touchdown. And a quick lead for Cedar Grove, the 0 FG touchdown on the touchdown run by Jermaine Kelly.
Yeah, you see the speed of Kelly, but what I really like about this run was the patience. He let his blockers develop the play, found the opening, found the green grass, and he's able to go in untouched.
PAT this time is no good. And a 13-0 lead for Cedar Grove, not even 5 minutes into the game.
Yeah, Therrell still looking for that first down of the game. Haven't gotten to get anything going offensively, and that's the big test for this team. Last year, they only put up 91 total points. They were dealing with the injuries, but establishing a rhythm is going to be key to get things going, and it's obviously a tough start.
Well, they've gifted Cedar Grove with great field position twice. On a poor punt, they gave them the ball at the 33. That was a quick touchdown drive. And then they fumbled the ball at the 20, and that was a one-play 20-yard touchdown drive. So we'll see if Therrell can regroup here as they go on offense for the third time in just a moment. But for a Cedar Grove program that's trying to reestablish the program, get back to the glory days, you couldn't have asked for a better start here today.
Absolutely. And one of the things that stood out about our conversation with Coach Freeman is just the gold mine of that Cedar Grove middle school program. So they're going to have guys that come in freshman, sophomore year that have led teams and competed against some of the best of the middle school level. And I think it won't take long before Cedar Grove is right back into that conversation.
18-yard return up to the 24-yard line, and that's where Therrell will go on offense. That was J.J. Streety on the return. Here's another look at that touchdown run by Jermaine Kelly. I don't know that he was touched. So 1st and 10 from the 24. Franklin lined up next to McCord in the backfield. Running a jet sweep, coming to the near side and up to the 32-yard line. Positive run right there for the Therrell Panthers, their best offensive play yet. Here's a look at the Cedar Grove defense. Unfortunately, Stokes out today. He's not able to play. But Derico Welch is a guy to watch. That's a big 6'5 sophomore who's going to be a big-time player on the offensive side of the ball. And Mekhi Watson, you can see, playing both ways at running back and linebacker.
Yeah, he's probably one of the higher-rated prospects on this Cedar Grove team, already picking up a ton of offers and a lot of football left in his varsity career.
2nd down, Franklin gets the handoff. He gets stopped in his tracks. Jaden Higgins, the inside linebacker, making the tackle.
Yeah, smart play. They had a 2nd and short, and they were able to move the chains, get that first down of the game for Therrell, start to get things moving.
That did pick up the 1st down. So 1st and 10 from the 35. McCord tries to run to the outside. Flags go flying. Tackle made for a loss by Derico Welch. I was just talking about him a moment ago. He gets the TFL back at the 29.
And they're going to call it on number 16, Prince Ingram. Trying to set the edge.
Holding. Offense. Penalty decline. 2nd down.
So they take the loss on the play rather than the penalty as it spots the ball back at the 29-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 16.
In that situation, Prince was trying to push the defender towards the boundary, so you almost want to cut that one inside. Trying to beat him outside was just set up for the hold.
Back to pass. McCord throws it up there and intercepted at the 45-yard line. And that's Derico Welch on the return. And he gets hammered from behind at the 32-yard line. But once again, the Saints will start an offensive possession, Craig, inside the Panthers' territory.
Yeah, good job by the safety, just being patient, coming over, reading the quarterback's eyes, and high pointing it. See, they try to go deep. He's right in position, good hands, good play on the ball. And then a big hit at the end.
Held on to it, though.
Yeah, somehow.
Because he was kind of blindsided a little bit right there. But that's Derico Welch again, the sophomore making his presence felt here in this first quarter.
Yeah, we're just talking about his size, 6'5". He went up and got that one, made it look easy.
How about a 6'5" defensive back playing center field right there? That's easy pickings on that interception for him. Davis goes up top, got a man wide open, touchdown to Welch. Derico Welch got the interception and then went over on offense and got the 0 FG touchdown.
I mean, tremendous start. I like the aggressive play call. And I wonder how he got so wide open on this one, if it was a double move or if they thought they had safety help.
And a 19-0 lead, yeah.
Got the interception and then the touchdown.
Extra point presented by Eccles and Johnson. And the PAT is blocked. But a 19-0 lead for Cedar Grove as they are off and rolling here in the 2025 season.
What makes Zaxby's Giant Chicken Finger Quesadilla so giant? Crispy fingers, sauce, and melty cheese. Cheese. Zaxby's Giant Chicken Finger Quesadillas. Who's got the sauce?
Zaxby's. What sets us apart? At the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office, we are guided by the mission to serve and protect through dedication, professionalism, active cooperation with the community, and respect for human dignity. Our core values, integrity, service, respect, and progress, are at the heart of everything we do. If you are ready to make a difference, join our law enforcement family. Start your career today with the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office by applying at gogcso.com. Your future awaits.
Nobody wants to hear the word roaches because who wants to admit they have roaches?
I actually found some weird roaches. I didn't know what they were. I decided to choose Breda. I reached out to them. They check in routinely. They're explaining what they're doing. So there's a lot of clarity in the process as well. I think that just speaks to the level of safety that I feel with the organization.
The facts are, roaches are everywhere in our environment. So what are you doing to keep them out of your home?
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Here we go!
Quesadillas, and then there's Zaxby's Giant Chicken Finger Quesadillas, packed with their famous chicken fingers, cheese, and a whole lot of sauce. We're gonna need more napkins. Zaxby's Giant Chicken Finger Quesadillas. Who's got the sauce?
Zaxby's.
Back at Buck Godfrey Stadium, and a rousing start to the season for the Cedar Grove Saints as they have scored on their first 3 possessions, all of them short field possessions, and lead this one 19-0 as Therrell having a hard time getting started here.
Yeah, and when you look at how these touchdowns have been set up, we had the muffed punt and then back-to-back turnovers. They were able to take advantage of it, but obviously a sloppy start for Therrell right now, but all the credit to Cedar Grove just being ready to take advantage of those miscues.
Lofton on the return, and Lofton's going to get stopped at the 23-yard line. So the big challenge for Therrell right now is to just run a clean series and not turn it over. I mean, they have gifted Cedar Grove in just about every way possible: a bad punt, a fumble, and an interception.
That's right. And we saw the last series, they got their first down, but then they had the penalty that was declined on the hold, and then the interception thrown into not only double coverage, but with a 6'5" safety back there, a very dangerous play. And we'll see if they can get things going on this drive.
So 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line.
Whoa!
McCord going to throw it, incomplete.
Number 1 hit his own teammate.
And a huge collision. Now a flag comes out. Gives me an opportunity to tell you about Breda Pest Management. They know your house inside and out with a customized treatment plan that stops any bugs and critters. Looks like a player for Cedar Grove injured, shaken up on that play. We'll get back to that in just a moment.
Sorry, that is Mekhi Watson. So the referee saw him take that hit and said, you got to go to the sideline. It was just 2 players converging. I think that was
Conduct, offense. Half this to the goal. First down.
Okay, so that was a penalty after the play, but then the collision, the 2 Cedar Grove players, and looks like Mekhi's going to get checked on after getting his belt run. Watch this collision. Ooh.
So the penalty on Therrell backs them up to the 11-yard line. McCord running to the near side here, and he's going to be thrown for a loss, and the ball is out as it rolls out of bounds. That's a break for the Panthers.
And this Cedar Grove defense is getting comfortable, playing with a lot of confidence and just no room on the outside. See tons of Cedar Grove Saints flying to the football.
Well, that was one of the things that Coach Freeman talked about. 11 legs or 22 legs and 11 helmets to the football. That's what they want. They want some gang tackling here. And it looks like just initially here that this is a much more disciplined Cedar Grove team than we saw a year ago. Big lead and threatening to add to it here as Therrell just keeps retreating towards their own end zone. 3rd down in the state of Georgia to go for the Panthers. They're backed up at their 6, and now a timeout's going to be called. So timeout called by Therrell.
What is that, 3rd and 25?
It's too much to count. Breda Pest Management knows your house inside and out with a customized treatment plan that stops any bugs and critters. Breda does it right, protecting the inside and outside of your home. It's the bugs inside your house that you want gone. Breda, they handle bugs and critters. Here's a look at your officials. It's brought to you by the Army ROTC. Tommy Tom's your referee, and there's a look at the rest of the crew working this afternoon ball game on a Friday afternoon in scorching DeKalb County today.
Saw a Cedar Grove player get helped off into that white medical tent over there. I think it was number 58, not sure, but that would have been Kareem Cobb,
Kareem Cobb, their defensive end, yep. High snap, McCord in the end zone, runs out of it, throws on the run, and overthrows his intended target, Streety, at the 10-yard line. It's going to be 4th down, and Therrell's going to punt out of their own end zone.
And actually, Matt, that was Terrence Jackson, number 12, in for the first time at quarterback right there, but the pass was not on target, but we're seeing him try to play, I guess, through that injury and give them some life offensively.
Terrence Johnson's an interesting story. He didn't play last year. He wanted to be in the band instead and played the drums last year in the band. But out here playing football today, the way things are going right now, and maybe he wishes he was back in the band. It's been a rough start for Therrell.
And he might be back there to punt.
Yes, he is also their punter. Johnson gets it out of there. Low kick, going to hit at the 25 and bounce dead at the 33. And Cedar Grove will start their 4th possession of the game in Panthers territory. In fact, this is their worst field position they've had, and that's the Therrell 33.
And nothing you can do right there. Just let it roll and take advantage of this field position.
So Cedar Grove brings the offense back out. They haven't really had to run a whole lot of plays. Their scoring drives, if you want to call them that, have been one-play drives or maybe two-play drives because they've been so close every time they get the ball. The freshman in there at quarterback slings it out here. And a nice play by Therrell on defense as the play gets snuffed out right away.
Number 7, Braylon Love getting the TFL. Nice tackle.
Here's a look at Therrell on defense. Justin Glee on that defensive line is probably their top returning player. Boston Carr, I don't know if he's out there or not because he had a practice injury this week. It looks like he is out there. That's good news for them, number 8. And there was a question mark as to whether he was going to be able to play today. Davis throws it right there in the middle, complete. And that's Deshaun Hendricks, their tight end, 3-year starter, and a big 6'3", 240 target with the catch and run to the 35.
And you see Hendricks break those initial tackles, but good job by Therrell finding the football and being able to bring him down with the gang tackle.
Now, Hendricks has a chance to be a big-time player here for Cedar Grove. He's put on 40 pounds since his 10th grade season, playing both ways at tight end and defensive end. So now it's going to be 3rd down and about 2. And that's going to be a 1st down carry. Brendan Flanori with the 1st down. 3rd back used by the Saints today.
4th down.
Oh, I thought they'd picked up the 1st down. They were way behind the sticks, pardon me. So it's going to be 4th down.
See if they try to pin Therrell back. Kind of in that no man's land territory right now.
Quite frankly, everything has been no man's land for Therrell right now.
Got 5 on the play clock.
2, and a timeout's going to be called by Cedar Grove to avoid taking the delay of game penalty. I find that interesting, and maybe they had a fake on because typically if you're in a punt situation on 4th and long, you probably don't mind taking that penalty right there. It's not going to be consequential to the punt.
Right. And
so maybe they had a fake on.
Yes, we did. And we saw Mincy, number 54, come in there kind of late. So maybe not their typical punt formation.
So which Mincy was it? Was it Dexter or Jaden? Dexter's the senior 3-year starter, been offered by Georgia State. Jaden's his freshman brother who plays center.
That was the senior, Dexter.
Yeah, Dexter's an old-school offensive guard. Coach Freeman could not say enough great things about Dexter Mincy. He says he is close to 400 on his bench, 600 on his squat. He's just like you, Craig.
Yeah, he was in that 1,300-pound club, one of the strongest guys participating in this Corky Kell weekend.
And you see, they don't have him on the line. They have him as one of the protection backs at the 38-yard line. Snap gets back there, and the kick towards the corner, and it's going to go into the end zone. That was close to pinning it.
That was very close, probably less than a foot away from getting right outside that pylon.
Yeah, it needed to take a little bit harder right to go inside the pylon instead of around it and outside the pylon into the end zone. So,
yeah, well, with that delay of game, if they would have gotten that penalty, it might have been out of the 4.
They could have backed it up 5 yards, and it would have helped them.
We'd like to recognize another one of our sponsors today, Sports First Company. The proud sponsor of the Corky Kell Games and Hunters Classic. For its
So 1st and 10 for Therrell as they go on offense again. They have not been able to generate much at all offensively. Just negative 10. I looked at it, I was just going to say just 10, but it's actually worse than just 10. It's negative 10 in offense for Therrell here in the first quarter. Johnson rolling. Now he's under pressure, going to take a sack, and then a flag comes out.
See what this flag is. I don't know if they would have flagged Cedar Grove for falling on top of Jackson because it kind of went down on his own.
It's Krishawn Broadnex who got the sack. I didn't see a penalty.
15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
I didn't hear what he said. What was the 15-yard penalty?
It was a face mask call, so let's see if we can see it.
Yeah, maybe he got his face mask right there. Yeah, that's unfortunate because he was gifting them a sack. I mean, he was going down on his own. You didn't have to reach for the tackle, and when he did, Broadnex grabbed his face mask and gives him 15 yards on the play and a first down for Therrell at the 35-yard line. And that'll be the first down for the Panthers in this game.
Flag down, false start.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's the third or fourth time, Craig, that the quarterback, whether it be Terrence Johnson or Jalen McCord, has put the ball on the carpet.
Yeah, it's always tough switching in quarterbacks, but really just the lack of reps with this unit, something that will take time to just get the cadence down, the pre-snap, and seen a couple of those miscues.
So 1st and 15 at the 30. Pass incomplete out there on the far edge to the 38-yard line. Going to bring up 2nd down and long. Negative 12 yards rushing for the Panthers so far in this game. 2 yards receiving. Net of negative 10 in offense. 86 yards of offense for Cedar Grove and 3 touchdowns. They haven't had to go far for their touchdowns. That's why the yardage totals aren't bigger. Johnson, and that ball is dropped and gets on top of it. That's going to be an incomplete pass. And now it's going to be 3rd down. Took his eyes off the ball before he caught it. He saw those 3 guys closing in on him. Wanted to know where the enemy fire was coming from. 3rd and 15, 1:24 to play here in the opening quarter. And Cedar Grove on top, 19-0. High snap. Johnson gets it and goes down. 4th down. Another punting situation here for the Panthers.
A tough break, errant snap, and he's lucky it didn't go over his head. Might have produced another touchdown on that play, but they're in a tricky situation. They had a better punt this second go around. We'll see what they do this time.
Knuckleball kick going to be taken at the 50-yard line. That was a fair catch made by the Saints. And this will be their worst field position of the game so far, the 50-yard line. Typically that would be your best in the first quarter, but this is their worst as they have put 19 points on the board got time for maybe 1 or 2 plays left here in the first quarter.
And I saw a Cedar Grove player come on late. There was a flag
Holding.
out. Okay.
Return team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down.
So that'll back them up to the 40. So the Saints come back out on offense. Davis 4 or 5 passing for 42 yards so far in this game. Watson 4 carries for 21 yards and a touchdown. Kelly had the 19-yard carry for a touchdown, and Welch had a 32-yard catch for a touchdown. And that's been the offense today for Cedar Grove. It's been a good day so far. Flannery gets the handoff, and Flannery gets 4 yards on the play up to the 44. And that might have been the final play of the quarter.
Yep, they'll
the
be
Saints
content.
are taking.
We're here for the walk-offs, the shutouts, the moments that make you nervous, and the ones that keep you coming back for more. No matter what your favorite Braves moment is, it happens here. Peachtree Sports Network. The Braves play here. Your Atlanta Dream are on Peachtree Sports Network. Looking for some payback against Golden State? See all the big shots and star power here. Dream Valkyries, Sunday at 8:30 on Peachtree Sports Network.
You have to see it. You have to hear it. You have to experience next-gen TV to believe it. With unmatched 4K clarity, breathtaking color, and movie theater quality sound. And now, watch and play free games with Game Loop. It's all free, over the air, now. Make your next TV a next-gen TV. Visit atlantanewsfirst.com/nextgen to learn more.
At Gray Digital Media, we craft engaging campaigns that grab attention and get results. Extending your message across all platforms and getting it in front of the most eyes on social media with cutting-edge digital strategies backed by local expertise. Our marketing professionals connect you with customers right here in Atlanta and wherever your audience is. Gray Digital Media. We know local. Let's connect today. GDMAtlanta.com.
Back at Bud Godfrey Stadium in Decatur, second quarter, Corky Kell, Dave Hunter Classic, and Cedar Grove out to a 19-0 lead on Therrell. Matt Stewart-Long, Craig Sager Jr. got a doubleheader coming up at Barron Stadium later on today here on Peachtree Sports Network, and then 4 games at Mercedes-Benz Stadium starting at 10 a.m. Saturday morning. Four games in the books already. West Forsyth last night and Kell High School on Wednesday night. Second quarter is presented by the State Building Trades as the Saints have it 2nd down and 6 from their own 44-yard line to start this quarter. Davis, nice move in the pocket, going to run it. First run for Davis, gets across the 50 down to the 48, and that's a first down. That was a heady play by the freshman.
It was quick decision. He had some pressure in front of his face, sidesteps him. Right there, good job in moving the chains.
Tell you what, you might be looking at a 4-year starting quarterback here for Cedar Grove, the 9th grader making the first start of his varsity career here in the 2025 season opener and looking good. It's the coach's son, like we said, played at Cedar Middle last year, and so his reputation kind of precedes himself. Had a great career there in middle school.
Encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
And Craig, you talked about it earlier, and Coach Freeman brought it up. One of the reasons why Cedar Grove has been one of the most successful teams in the state over the last decade is their middle school program.
Absolutely, and I mean, what's key for this is Davis deciding to go to Cedar Grove. I mean, in this day and age, a talented freshman like that, we see a lot of them move around, but him committing to Cedar Grove, staying home, it's a great sign as Coach Freeman tries to get Cedar Grove back into the state title contention.
So second down, ball at the 43-yard line. And Davis spin move. Nice hesitation there. Throws low to Hendricks, who was wide open at the 37-yard line. Really the first mistake that Davis has made. So what happened here at Cedar Grove? They won their 5th state championship since 2016 and 2023 with John Adams as the head coach. They beat Savannah Christian in the state finals. And then John Adams got a job on Dale McGee's staff at Georgia State. They hired from outside the program in 2024, which upset a lot of the returning players, most of all of which transferred out of the program. You're talking about one of the best teams in the state transferred en masse to schools all around the city of Atlanta, primarily along that southern arc. And now they brought Rich Freeman in after that disastrous 2024 season to try to get things back right. And you can already see a change in the organization, the discipline in the program. And off to a good start here today. It's going to be 4th down and 5. Let's see if they're going to punt. Looks like that's what they're thinking about doing here. They got Josiah Moore in there. He's the number 2 quarterback, was the number 1 until Brandon Davis displaced him. Lofton standing deep for Therrell. They're going to run a fake, and Hendricks going to throw a pass, and they missed the wide open man. Wow, missed a big play right there. Hendricks, their tight end, threw the pass. It was not a bad ball, and Titus Joy was wide open, just didn't connect with him.
Yeah, that would have been in for 6 for sure. Titus did a good job to keep running, but just slightly overthrown.
Man, can't miss those kind of opportunities. Now, today it might not hurt you. You got a commanding lead, but a much tighter game, such as the next one they're going to play in 2 weeks, game 2 of the season for Cedar Grove. They'll be going up against Collins Hill. A powerful 6A state championship contender, and there's that Collins Hill game coming up on August 29th, and then their region opener September 19th against the Douglas team we saw here in the Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic last night, a 27-0 loss at West Forsyth. McCord back in there at quarterback and runs to this near side and steps out of bounds at the 49-yard line. With those Guardian caps on their helmets, they remind me a lot of that movie Megamind.
Yeah, I've never played with those before, but I mean the technology's there, and we're starting to see more and more programs use those. And I think it's just when you invest in and fit your entire team with it, it gives you just this assurance that you're doing everything you can for the player safety.
Short gain right there. Stopped at the 50 was Deviante Franklin. It's going to bring up 3rd down. So Therrell has only 2 first downs so far in this game, and one of them came on penalty. About a short yardage situation right here on 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, they're trying to cross midfield for the first time right at that 50-yard line.
Line to gain is the 47. Going to have a procedure penalty here against Therrell, and so their 3rd and 3 becomes a 3rd and 8.
Yeah, it looked like the entire left side of the line jumped on that.
So 3rd down and 8 with trips receivers to the top of your screen. High snap goes over McCord's head. He catches it on the bounce, and he's going to take a huge loss back at the 28-yard line. They have had major issues with the snap.
4th down.
Therrell's schedule, they'll be hosting Miller Grove next Friday night in their home opener. And then their regional opener comes at Holy Innocents on September 19th.
Holy Innocents is a team I think is going to be the next Hebron Christian, a private school that hasn't won a state title, that is not far away from it. I really like this year's Golden Bears team.
Yeah, they were 4-7 last year, but I've got them ranked in my preseason top 10 at number 10. Played a lot of young players last year. Those young players come back with a year of experience under their belt. I, too, like Holy Innocents to have a nice season here in 2025. So a timeout called.
We mentioned the region. It's going to be tough. You got Carver, Atlanta, you got Lovett, but this is a classification that's going to use the power rating system, so all of these games are going to matter.
Yeah, Therrell went into the playoffs last year as the number 31 seed in 2A, and that's when they lost to Carver Columbus in the first round. Cedar Grove was also a number 31 seed in 3A. I like the power rankings. I don't know that I would do it the way they're doing it right now, just a straight power rankings. I would like to see a mixture, a hybrid of power rankings and region standings. And if you got an hour, I can talk all about my plan, but that's what I would do instead of just going to a straight power rankings. End over end kick, going to hit at the 47, and Cedar Grove player dances out of the way. Going to roll out of bounds at the 31-yard line, and that's where the Saints will go on offense when we get back.
Hey, does it matter if this leaks?
It don't matter to me. Can't see it from my house.
Illegal use of hands, improper training.
GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com has 14 different highly skilled trades with tuition-free training in our certified apprenticeship programs to train you the right way. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
Great teams are committed, focused on the details, and work hard to be their best. From practice to games, right down to their gear. Your field is a critical part of the game that allows your athletes to showcase their abilities. Sports Turf is committed to bringing your team innovative sports surfaces with unparalleled performance. You bring the vision, our team brings it to life.
For a healthier future together, look to Northside Hospital.
The Mechanical Trades Institute is an opportunity towards personal financial freedom through hands-on and rewarding work. Our school is completely free and gives apprentices the knowledge and skills required to gain access to a lifelong career path. Apprentices learn pipe fitting, plumbing, mechanical service, and welding. They earn money as they learn and graduate with no student debt. Start a career with the Mechanical Trades Institute and change your financial future.
Back at Buck Godfrey Stadium, 8 minutes to play here in the first half, and Cedar Grove on top of Therrell 19-0. Matt Stewart along with Craig Sager Jr. Been a dominating performance by Cedar Grove, dominating not necessarily because of what they've done. They've done well in their execution, but Therrell has gifted them so many easy opportunities, and the Saints have obliged by taking advantage of those.
Yep, and there's another one. It's going to be offsides on Therrell.
Cedar Grove with 56 yards rushing so far in this game and 42 receiving, 98 total. And there's their freshman quarterback. That's been a really bright spot for the Saints today. He's 4 of 8 passing for 42 yards. I like the way he's run the offense, made decisions. 1st and 5 on a play action. That's complete. And that's Hendricks. Hendricks all the way down to the 42-yard line.
Nice body control right there. The concentration, staying on his feet, breaking that initial tackle and turning that into a big gain.
Yeah, Deshaun Hendricks, first saw him back in 2023 when we televised the game in which they beat Westlake in their season opener. And he was just a sophomore tight end then, now a senior. He's one of the few guys that stayed around through the transition.
Five-yard penalty, first down.
Looks like the big fella got his momentum going. That's Ty Green. He moved up and was starting at defensive line today. He's a starting offensive lineman. They're having to use him both ways because of injury. Had him so hurt and so unable to go on that defensive line today. So Green had to pull double duties as a 1. Big run. Big hit at the end of the play. And Mekhi Watson down to the 24-yard line.
Yeah, and with Ty Green, I think he came out after that penalty. There's a big opening right up the middle, and he hit that hole quickly.
Yeah, like what I've seen out of Mekhi Washington. That was his 5th carry of the game. Puts him up over 30 yards for the game. A big, solid back. They've had a history of outstanding backs, of course, come through Cedar Grove most recently. Bo Walker, who was one of the guys who transferred out after that 2023 season, ended up playing at Rabun Gap. Ball is batted up into the air and nearly intercepted.
I got to drive by Rabun Gap's campus for the first time last week, and that place is unbelievable.
Well, it's one of those, it's almost like an IMG academy in that it attracts athletes from all over the country and in a lot of cases all over the world. They got a lot of players come over from Europe to play football there, looking to play the American football game. And when I say a lot, what's a lot? 5 or 6, that's a lot, right? Well, I would say that's a lot.
Yeah, and it's growing very much so over in Europe. I've seen that more and more.
And Rabun Gap, Nakuchi, as they call it, is going to be playing Grayson in a couple of weeks.
Yep, and then I think they go up to Ohio. They're playing Massillon.
Yep. And even though Rabun Gap, you think Rabun Gap, you think Georgia, and it is in Georgia, but they actually play in the North Carolina Association.
That's right.
They do not play in the Georgia Association. Under 6 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Saints driving towards what they hope is their 4th touchdown of the day. Davis fires, complete. And that's Hendricks again with the catch at the 15-yard line. It's catch number 3 for him.
A good job getting the ball out quickly. It's going to bring up a 4th and short.
Good-looking target right there. Big, long arms. And you look at that and you see he's already 6'3", 240. Don't know that he's going to grow any taller, but you could definitely see them putting some weight on that young man and turning him into an edge rusher or just a bigger tight end. Rich Freeman called him their poor man's Brock Bowers. Lofty praise. 4th and 1. Clock hit 0. So a timeout on the field, and we'll step aside with 4th and 1 coming up for the Saints.
Dangerous heat is the word from city leaders here.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
As we make our way closer to the house, you can see the windows.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Right now, rescue crews are continuing their search for survivors.
The free Local News Live streaming app. Search LNL on your TV, on your phone. Local News Live. Your nation, your neighborhood. Always streaming, always free.
With Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Don't worry, help is on the way.
With any of Life Alert's 3 emergency systems, help can be summoned immediately, and batteries never need charging.
I was having a stroke, and I was scared to death.
If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
Life Alert is a lifesaver.
My husband is alive because of Life Alert.
Life Alert is the lifesaver to keep me out of assisted living.
Life Alert saves a life every 11 minutes.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-344-6363. That's 1-800-344-6363. Call now, 1-800-344-6363.
Back at the Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic, the first game of our triple header on this Friday afternoon. Brought to you by Breda Pest Management, Army ROTC. Fourth and 1 coming out of the timeout for the Saints from the Therrell 15-yard line. Handoff goes to Watson. He's got the first down and more.
First down.
Watson down to the 10-yard line. And first and goal to go for the Saints.
First and goal.
Line up quickly to go with tempo here now inside the red zone. Watson gets it again. Watson down to the 7.
Second down and goal.
See back-to-back plays just running right behind Dexter Mincy, big number 54. He's getting a nice push up front.
Yeah, he's their bell cow. Rich Freeman said when he gets his mitts on you, he's pushing people backwards. So they give it to Watson again, run that side again, and Watson gets into the end zone for the touchdown. And a 25-0 lead for Cedar Grove on the 0 FG touchdown. Second touchdown run of the half for Mekhi Watson. And a big lead for the Saints.
The fullback, number 23, doing a good job freeing up that open space right up the middle.
Extra point brought to you by Eccles and Johnson. That was a 69-yard touchdown drive for the Saints. And the PAT is good. 26-0 Saints on top here with just under 4 minutes to play in the first half. That was the first time today that they had to put together a drive. Everything else had been really gift-wrapped for them because of a bad punt, interception, fumble recovery. That was a long 8-play, 69-yard drive for the touchdown.
Yeah, and you got to think a long drive like that's just going to wear down that Therrell defense. They've been on the field quite a bit, and now the offense is back out there. The thing for them is just the snaps have been a real problem the last few series on those key downs, just having the errant snaps. And they've had a tough time getting those positive yards going, trying to get back into positive territory.
Well, that's a big problem. They don't have positive yards. Right now, their total offense is negative 27. So not only is Cedar Grove pitching a shutout right now, they're pitching a negative. They have not given up any positive yards. Only 2 yards rushing, or actually only 2 yards passing, negative 29 in the rushing department. Of course, in high school football, quarterback sacks count against the rushing total as opposed to the NFL where it counts against the passing total. So you have quarterback sacks, so on a pass play it still goes against your rushing total for whatever that's worth for football stat nerds. It all equals to a very frustrating day for Therrell on offense.
See Big Ty Green playing both ways today, number 75. He'll be on the offensive line right now. He's getting a lot of reps.
That's Tyquarius Green, if you want to be official. So 1st and 10 for the Panthers from their own 34-yard line. McCord fires. That's a completion out here to the 35-yard line. So that's a couple of yards on the play right there for the Panthers. That's Zamarian Gray with the catch. Getting a report from the sideline that Kareem Cobb, their starting defensive end, is on the sideline icing the knee. He might be done for the day. And the injury report is presented by Northside Hospital. Heck, whether he's injured or not, Craig, putting ice on he might feel just great putting that ice on the knee. He says, I'm just going to cool it here. It's got to be upwards of 120 or higher on that football field right now. The heat index at 100 at kickoff time, so you got to figure with the synthetic turf, you're talking about at least 20 degrees warmer on that field. McCord fires, throws it up for grabs, and nearly intercepted here on that near sideline. As Najee Scott, the Rover, was closing fast, and now it's going to be 3rd down. I don't believe we have a flag on the field, so. It's going to be 3rd and 13. Ball on the 31. They got to get to the 44.
See how much pressure Cedar Grove brings on this 3rd and long.
I mean, they've gotten pressure the entire game. They haven't had to dog at all. I mean, they're getting pressure with their defensive line.
Hey, coach.
All time. Thank you.
3rd and 13 now, 3rd and 8.
Under 3 minutes to play here in the first half. McCord in the pocket, slings it out there, intercepted at the 47-yard line. deflected into the hands of the Saints, and it's going back the other way. Pickoff by number 5 for the Saints. That was Josiah Moore. That's their backup. That's their number 2 quarterback getting some run there in the secondary.
Yeah, just tons of Cedar Grove defenders around there taking advantage of the tip drill. And they will have plenty of time to add to this lead.
So, Craig, what a game like this does for the Saints, as you take a look at the interception, is you get to try out a lot of guys at different positions. So here you got Josiah Moore, who when the week started was the number 1 quarterback, and they decided to go with the freshman, Brandon Davis. So now you're giving him a look in the secondary. And you're able to do that in a pretty low-pressure situation. You got a big 4-touchdown lead as it is. So you get to mix and match and experiment with some things, which is going to help you on down the road in the season.
Yeah, and that's what Coach Freeman and his staff has been doing since February. With a lot of new pieces, some first-time starters, just moving guys around. And I have a feeling it will be about 3 to 4 games into the season when they're still making some of these moves.
Well, the competition steps up really big in 2 weeks when they've got Collins Hill. That's kind of left over from the previous administration back when they were running the state and winning those state championships. They would routinely play a team like Collins Hill. They would go to Colquitt County and play 6 and what was at the time 7A teams. But the program not really in that place right now to be able to do that. And as we take a look at our electrifying play of the half, and it's presented by IBEW Local 613. That was the touchdown pass to Derico Welch for 32 yards.
And that was right after Welch had the interception. So that was a great sequence for him. The very next play, getting in for the score.
So 1st and 10 for the Saints after they get the injured player off the field for the Panthers. Ball at the 37 as they try to score their 5th touchdown of the first half. A whistle at the snap. Not a delay of game.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So that'll push it back to the 42. 1st and 15 from there.
If I'm Cedar Grove, I'm handing it off to Mekhi Watson, who's in for that last touchdown. They've found that success running the ball right up the middle.
Yeah, I like what we've seen from him. Instead, Davis going to pump fake, sprint out to his right, and throw complete to Watson. Watson has it at the 30, sheds a tackle down to the 25. Mekhi Watson, pardon me. Nice catch and run by Mekhi Watson. And we had a player for Therrell just go down, a cramp in the secondary. Craig, let's take a look at our Gordo's fan of the game. And it's the Cedar Grove Cheerleaders. And it's hot to be doing anything, including cheering right now.
Absolutely. Oh, and look who that is. That is Boston Carr.
Yeah, he went down right before the play started. Are you sure that's Carr? I had Carr as number 8. Don't think it's too serious, but we're going to take him to the tent. So 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Let's see if the Saints attack the substitution. Typically, that's what you're going to do. Player goes out, go at the new player. Instead, they hand off. And new running back in there for Cedar Grove, and that's Neve McNally, who's listed as a wide receiver but getting run from the tailback position. And he takes a loss on the play.
It's number 5, DeAndre Bell, coming in, getting the tackle for loss. He smelled run all the way.
DeAndre Bell, their 6'2", 205 junior linebacker, lines up next to Boston. Already counting on him for big things, and especially with Boston now, they'll be Boston Carr. They'll be asking for even more. So 2nd down. Procedure penalty here against the Saints.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
You see back in the game, Mekhi Watson, number 0.
Yeah, Watson today, 8 carries for 49 yards and a couple of touchdowns. And then Brandon Davis, their freshman quarterback, 7 of 12 for 85 yards. Those have been the 2 biggest offensive stars here for the Saints today. Watson gets the handoff, gaping hole for Watson. All the way down to the 12-yard line and inside the 10 to the 7.
And definitely could have driven a truck through this opening.
Oh, my gosh. 2 trucks. That was a 2-truck opening. 1st and goal to go. Keeper by Davis, runs into his own man. Helmet comes off. And he's down to the 6-yard line.
So now number 32, Giovanni Thomas, is going to have to come out after his helmet fell off.
Final minute. Saints going to have to hurry a little bit to get this ball in the end zone. Handoff goes to Watson, no problem.
Touchdown.
3rd touchdown run of the game for Mekhi Watson. And it's 32-0 on the 0 FG touchdown.
Yeah, and Therrell's starting to get vulnerable right up the middle. Seen some players go down with that linebacker position and some wide open holes. He gets in easy.
So by Georgia High School Association rule, now that the point differential is greater than 30 points, it'll be up to the coach's discretion and agreement as to whether they play with a running clock in the 3rd quarter. If you get to the 4th quarter and it's plus 30, then it's mandatory. But in the 3rd quarter, it's up to the coaches to decide whether they want to do that or not. As the extra point presented by Eccles and Johnson is no good. And it's 32-0 Cedar Grove.
I think
29 seconds left here in the first half. $119 rushing yards now for Cedar Grove here in the first half, Craig. 77 of that coming on the legs of Mekhi Watson.
Yeah, it's a great start for him, number 0. Seen a lot of running backs repping that number 0. We saw, how about Mooney Gibson for Kell having an unbelievable performance.
All-state running back. And how about some of the great running backs that have come through this Cedar Grove program? We mentioned Bo Walker, Rashad DeBinion, who just recently transferred from Arkansas to App State this season. He was part of that, one of the great, I was going to say the great Cedar Grove championship team, but then you have to be specific. They've won 5 of them. They won 5 from 2016 to 2023. You can make the argument, Craig, that during that span, that 7-year span, that pound for pound, they were the best team in the state of Georgia.
No doubt, and I think they led the state in terms of NFL players on rosters.
Kick return is bobbled, picked up at the 14. Big return out across the 45 up to the 50. And that's DeAndre Johnson. First time we've called his name today. He's new to football. But his coach, B.J. Jamison, said he's a freak of nature, can really fly. And you kind of saw that there on that kick return. So if nothing else, the single most positive play for the Panthers here in this first half on a nice return by DeAndre Johnson. Unfortunately, looks like it's coming back. We had a penalty flag dropped on that play, way back at the 17-yard line. And the thing you hate about that penalty flag, I did not see the penalty, but there's probably a good chance that it was inconsequential to the success of the play.
Absolutely. He reversed it. The kick was towards the right side of the field, hit the ground, and he found the opening space. And anytime you see a flag on a kickoff return, it is never good.
So instead of having the ball across the 50, Therrell backed up to the 10 with 16 seconds left in the half. Heavy rush, gets it out of there, and caught at the 17-yard line, driven out of bounds. Clock continues to run. That was probably the final play of the first half. And that is the end of the first half. 32-0 lead for Cedar Grove. They started early and scored often. Big plays on defense, resulting in turnovers. Touchdown pass from Davis to Welch, the 6'5 phenom. Mekhi Watson's had a big day. He scored 3 touchdowns and rushed for 77 yards. Halftime at Buck Godfrey Stadium here on Peachtree Sports Network.
We're here for the walk-offs, the shutouts, the moments that make you nervous, and the ones that keep you coming back for more. No matter what your favorite Braves moment is, it happens here. Peachtree Sports Network. The Braves play here. Your Atlanta Dream are on Peachtree Sports Network. Looking for some payback against Golden State? See all the big shots and star power here. Dream Valkyries, Sunday at 8:30 on Peachtree Sports Network.
Make yourself known now.
310-1 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Brought to you by Sports Turf. I'm Kelly Mansell with Georgia Chambers, and it's now time for our head coach's interview presented by the National Guard. This time you're joined by Steve Gates of Cass and Matt Napier of LaGrange. Coach Gates, last year we saw Brody McWhorter go down, and it clearly took a toll on the offense for the rest of the season. But you've got him back this year. Apart from even just the physical skill set, what is it that Brody McWhorter brings to this team?
Just his presence, being at practice, the weight room, just him being around. Just lifts everybody's spirits up because he's such a leader. He's very mature for his age, physically and mentally, and he's a big time leader for this program.
LaGrange had its first double-digit win season last year since 2009, made its way to the semifinals. Coach, what do you credit your team's recent success to?
Just consistency, hard work. I mean, there's no secret to success other than showing up every day and working your tail off, and we've got a group that did that. You know, we started the season rough with the loss, and we knew we were young, had a bunch of starters that were fresh that game, so just staying consistent, working hard every day, and we wanted to get better as the season went on, and we were able to do that.
Coach, you've been here before. You know what the stakes are at the Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic. I feel like one thing that we've seen from all the teams this week is that certain degree of first game nerves. What's the message to your team in the locker room about keeping calm in this first quarter?
It's just another game to us. We treat every game like that. It doesn't matter if it's a big region game or the Corky Kell Classic. It's the next game. It's the next play. Obviously, LaGrange is a storied program. Coach Napier's done a great job, and we have a big challenge for us in a couple hours.
With 30 seniors on this year's team, how have some of the underclassmen set themselves apart this offseason to remain competitive?
Yeah, just working in the weight room, you know, our process of our off-season work, just committing to it, working their tail off, and just showing up every day and doing things the right way. We had a successful JV 9th grade season last year. Those guys were a part of. We knew we had some playmakers in those younger classes, and excited to see what they do this year.
All right, last thing, Coach. I feel like every team goes into the season with some sort of mantra or motto. What's that been for you guys this season, and how does that fit in with the identity of this team?
Probably play fast and physical with discipline. Georgia receiver Jacoby White that played for us sent me a text a few weeks ago and emphasized that you can do anything, motivation and all that stuff ends at some point in time during the game. Discipline stays. So that's what we're rolling with is play fast and physical with discipline and let the chips fall where they may.
Coach, there's no escaping this Georgia heat. Are there any other precautions you take when you have an earlier game? Yeah,
look, I think you just hydrate as best you can, condition at practice. Make sure you're taking care of the guys the best you can. When you're playing a school that's well coached like Cass, they're going to have some depth. They're a little bit bigger classification. We know that we've got to do those little things to try to give us an advantage to make sure our guys stay away from those cramps, and that's just BioLite, that's just conditioning, that's just making sure they're eating healthy and doing the little things right, and you do the best you can. I don't think there's anything that you can really do prepare you for this Georgia heat in August. So, we're just excited about the opportunity to play a great opponent, and we'll let the guys go out and compete.
Coaches, thank you so much for joining us. We wish you the best of luck. Stay cool out there if you can, and we'll see you shortly for kickoff.
What sets us apart? At the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office, we are guided by the mission to serve and protect through dedication, professionalism, active cooperation with the community, and respect for human dignity. Our core values, integrity, service, respect, and progress, are at the heart of everything we do. If you are ready to make a difference, join our law enforcement family. Start your career today with the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office by applying at gogcso.com. Your future awaits.
We know how important your pets are at Breda, so when Breda comes inside your home to treat, we don't spray baseboards at Breda. We target cracks and crevices only. We call it the Triple P process, precision placement of product. Can you imagine having pesticides on your baseboards? That's just not safe for you, your family, or your pets.
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
The Georgia Sheet Metal JETC equips apprentices with the knowledge and skills required to start a rewarding career in the sheet metal industry with programs in HVAC, industrial welding, and testing, adjusting, and balancing. Training is 100% free and allows apprentices to earn as they learn. Journeymen graduate with no student debt and have the potential to earn more than most college graduates. Visit our website to learn more about this opportunity at careersinsheetmetal.com.
Transform your outdoor space with Inspired Landscape Solutions Incorporated. With 34 years of expertise and a passion for innovation, we offer full-service maintenance, custom hardscape, outdoor living design, irrigation, lighting, and so much more. Whether you're envisioning a serene garden retreat or a vibrant outdoor entertainment area, we bring your dreams to life. Inspired Landscape Solutions, where creativity meets craftsmanship.
Georgia High School Sports Daily Show. We're really honored to spotlight an organization that plays a vital role not only in national defense but also within the Georgia community. And joining us here today is Sergeant First Class Coring. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Can you just spend a little time talking about your role within the National Guard?
Absolutely. I am the second in charge of one of the teams on Alpha Company. We cover the Cobb County, Carroll County, and the Douglas County area.
And for students that are in high school right now that have plans of going to college, what assistance does the National Guard provide them?
We have 100% college tuition to any state school in Georgia, and we also offer the GI Bill, student loan repayment, so that you can be in the National Guard and earn your degree debt-free.
And what makes the Georgia Army National Guard different from other components?
So we have a state and federal mission, just like active duty, we have a federal mission in the reserves, but we also have a state mission. We are essentially the governor's quick reaction force to help people in a time of need.
And then for students and parents of students that are watching, what advice would you give them or what would you tell them about the National Guard?
Give it a try. One thing that a mentor told me a long time ago was, well, people are reluctant to join sometimes, right? And because they think that they can't do it. But a mentor told me one time that, how do you know you can't do it if you don't try? So give it a shot. Try it. Come in and talk to us. See if it's right for you.
So for you and your journey, what first brought you to the National Guard?
So I joined because I wanted to get my degree, and I didn't want to be in debt when I got done with it, because student debt is a terrible thing. So I joined. I used the college benefits that were offered to me, and I got my degree, and I didn't have to pay a dime.
And then just talk about all the different career fields that the National Guard is able to provide.
Yeah, we have over 100 different jobs. We have cyber, engineering, we have logistics. We offer so many different jobs, and the great thing is you can use those jobs in the civilian world. So you join the National Guard, you learn that job, and then you can go out and get a job in the civilian world.
Since you've joined back in college to now, what's your service meant to you personally?
So I've always liked helping people. So that's been a big thing, is just helping people. And now being in a recruiter role, I get to help people accomplish their dreams. People come to me and they say, hey, I want to join, but you know, I don't know how, or I need help with my life, and it's just helping people.
And then what's like an impactful moment that you've been able to experience?
Just helping develop the next leader for the military. So eventually somebody's going to take my place. I've got to train and develop them. So helping them become better at their job so they can one day take mine.
What characteristics does the Georgia Army National Guard look for in possible recruits coming to the Guard?
So we look for people that are motivated, driven, that want to succeed in life, and they got to pass an ASVAB, they got to do a medical screening, but other than that, yeah, as long as you can do that, you're good to go.
And then for someone that is maybe undecided on the path they want to take, what's your advice just to give them to get involved and the confidence that they will be able to find a path?
So the best advice is just come in and talk to a recruiter. We're here to help you. You know, we're here to help you accomplish your dreams and your goals. That's why we exist.
Where should students go to find out more about the Georgia Army National Guard?
So you can go to nationalguard.com/Georgia, or you can call 1-800-GO-GUARD and get hooked up with a recruiter in the area to help you.
Well, thank you so much, not only for your service, but joining us today here on our show. We really appreciate your time.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Man, you know how to do this? Man, I don't even know. I was flipping burgers last week.
Violation, unsportsmanlike conduct, impersonating a craftsman.
Skilled trade unions are well-trained career pros, not part-timers. Construction is a rewarding and lucrative career with the advancement potential, but you have to do it the right way with the right training. Learn how you can be a pro. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
Vision.
commitment. When those become partnership, powerful things begin to happen. The path becomes clear. The work becomes reality. And your achievement becomes a legacy. You deserve a partner that will. You deserve Sports Turf.
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting six figures.
Hey, I have your back, you have my back, we're going to do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?
World-class training isn't just for leaders well on their way. It's for the ones just getting their footing. Seasoned pros learn through real-world experience. But so do young cadets. No other career path gives you leadership instruction that's so tested, so successful, so early. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
Joining us now is Kenny Mullins from GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Kenny, for people that might not know much about it, what is GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com and what do you guys offer?
So we build everything. We have apprenticeships, and we're 19 different affiliates in the construction trades. From everything it takes to build a building from the slab to the roof, that's what we cover.
And when you look at high school football as a whole, not a ton of people will go on to that next level. So how important is it for you to reach out to those high school athletes and try to get them to come work for you guys?
It's very important, number one, for them and their families, because we have so much to offer. We're not just a job, we're a career. We got a saying that job is just over broke. So when you come to the trades, you have an actual career that pays you a pension, that gives you health care, family coverage, gives you everything you need to be successful, and you don't have college debt.
And then how does GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com strengthen the workforce in the state of Georgia?
Well, it's kind of like a big brotherhood. It relates kind of to football, where we do a lot of community work stuff. We're very involved in our communities, and it's just something that we take pride in. The principles that build Georgia Construction Careers and our union affiliates are what kind of embody the same thing as a football team. So you belong here. It allows people to build their future.
And how important is it for businesses like yours to invest in young people so early?
Oh, it's so important. That's our next generation. That's the future of America and the future of Georgia, and all of everything that we do in the country is that youth coming up. So we take pride in it.
And then what's your advice for students just to explore all the different career opportunities?
So go to GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com, and it will have all 19 trades listed. You can go and look at each one of them, do your research, get your parents to look at it, figure out which one suits you that you may want to join.
What first brought you to GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com?
So I started right out of high school. I was actually an IBW electrician. And so I started at that path, went through the apprenticeship, and worked my way up, and now I'm here as the manager for Georgia Construction Careers.
Then what does it mean just to be front and center this season as a title sponsor of a season long of just great high school football games?
It's just a really good way for us to, again, to be in the community, and it's a good recruiting ground for us. 7.5% of the players that play football go to college. We want the rest of you that are not going to go to college to that next level. That's why it's important to us, and we love being in the community, and we love football.
Thank you so much, Kenny, for joining us, and we'll be back right after this short break.
Zaxby's just dropped new lemon pepper, so you can get that zesty lemon and cracked black pepper flavor you love on the chicken you love. Lemon pepper fans, this one's for you. Zaxby's Lemon Pepper Dry Rub. Who's got the sauce?
Zaxby's.
At Breda, we made the decision to invest in infrared cameras. The infrared gives us a unique advantage because we can pinpoint that termite damage. We then use our microwave technology, which allows us to localize our treatment so we can get rid of those termites quicker before that damage becomes extensive. And that saves you a lot of money as a homeowner.
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid. afraid of bugs.
For a healthier future together, look to Northside Hospital.
So when I got in the program, I was 18. At the time, I think the most appealing thing was, I could start out going to school and making money while I'm going to school. Not coming out in 4 or 5 years, $30,000, $40,000 in debt. That was the biggest attraction to this. I got in 3 days after graduation and hadn't looked back.
At Zaxby's, you can lemon pepper any way you want. Get lemon pepper wings, lemon pepper sandwiches, or lemon pepper fingers. Now that's lemon pepper perfection. Zaxby's Lemon Pepper Dry Rub. Who's got the sauce?
Zaxby's. And welcome into the Sports Turf Halftime Show. I'm Kaylee Mansell with Georgia Chambers. We are at the historic Barron Stadium here in Rome, Georgia, where 2 games are set to kick off today. The first one being between Cass and LaGrange in the primetime 8 o'clock spot. It'll feature Creekside and Rome. I think the big storyline headed into this game one is the heat. It's about 96 degrees currently, but with that turf field, it definitely feels a little bit hotter. Before we got the chance to talk to the coaches, I thought Cass's coach, Steve Gates, brought up an interesting point that going into the summer this year, they have 2 less weeks than they've had before in the past. 2 dead weeks, so they only get about 7 weeks to really pull their teams together as opposed to the 10 they had before, and therefore they have less time to get their teams acclimated to this heat. So I definitely think we'll see some early mistakes early on in the game, but they're just going to have to get used to what's out there.
When it comes to the heat, Coach Napier was saying they really make sure their athletes are hydrating and eating good because they don't want their players to get hurt out there, catch a cramp. But there's no denying that this Georgia heat is insufferable. So there's no changing Mother Nature. They can just do anything in their power to make sure once it comes game time, they're ready and the heat's not affecting them.
Yeah, and last week when we did our Corky Kell Dave Hunter luncheon, it was probably about high 70s, low 80s. All the coaches were like, hey, it's great to practice in this for now, but we know come next week, it's not going to help us at all.
I knew last week when the weather was perfect, I said if only game time could be this weather, but I feel like if they can get through the adversity of this heat, they'll really be ready for whatever comes their way this season.
All right, so taking a look at that game one between Cass and LaGrange, LaGrange actually dropped that first game in the Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic last year and then went on to have a semifinal run in the playoffs. Cass, not the season that they hoped for. They've got a star quarterback in Brody McWhorter, as well as his cousin, Bear McWhorter, who's also a part of the team. So Cass isn't in the way they wanted last year with Brody McWhorter going out, but they've got him back. It's going to be the story of a really strong offense versus a really strong defense on LaGrange's side.
And over this Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic, we've seen teams returning a lot of seniors. LaGrange has 30 seniors coming back this year. A lot of those seniors were a part of last year's team that made it to the semifinals. So they're coming back with a little chip on their shoulder heading into this season, and that returns a lot of experience too. So they're going to be looking to come into this game hot.
All right, so that's going to be a little summation of our first matchup. And then, of course, as the night goes on, we'll talk about some grown man football that we're going to see with Creekside and Rome, both well coached, both well disciplined. That's going to be our primetime game tonight at 8 o'clock. With that, we'll go ahead and wrap up the Sports Turf Halftime Show. I'm Kelly Mansell with Georgia Chambers. We'll see you for pregame of Cass versus LaGrange.
With Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Don't worry, help is on the way.
With any of Life Alert's 3 emergency systems, help can be summoned immediately, and batteries never need charging.
I was having a stroke, and I was scared to death.
If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today. Life Alert is a lifesaver.
My husband is alive because of Life Alert.
Life Alert is the lifesaver to keep me out of assisted living.
Life Alert saves a life every 11 minutes.
for a free Life Alert brochure. Call 1-800-344-6363. That's 1-800-344-6363. Call now. 1-800-344-6363.
Back at Montgomery Stadium, where Cedar Grove has a 32-0 lead on Therrell as we get ready to start the third quarter. Matt through along with Craig Sager, and a good solid first half by Cedar Grove. I wouldn't call it dominating. It was more a good solid first half by them, and just huge mistakes by Therrell on the other side of the ball as you take a look at the highlights presented by the Mechanical Trade Institute.
Yeah, and what we really saw at the end of the first half was Cedar Grove just dominated on the ground, the run game. And if I'm Coach Freeman, that's what I kind of want to see in the second half. Just you have the big lead, you want to close it out, and really with some of the vulnerabilities of that Therrell defense, they should be able to continue that run game.
Now, by GHSA rule, Therrell had the option of having a running clock in the third quarter because they trail by more than 30 points. They have declined that opportunity, and so we will have a standard clock in the third quarter, and if Cedar's lead remains 30-plus going to the fourth, then we will have a mandatory running clock in the fourth period. So interesting decision. We'll see if Therrell can put something together here because their first 24 minutes have been very forgettable. And the kick taken at the 16-yard line as it checks up right in front of the receiver and return up to the 29-yard line. Nice return by Josiah Moore, and that's where the Saints will put the ball in play to start this third quarter. Why switch your termite protection to Breda Pest Management, and your rate is locked in for 10 years. Breda's protected homes from termites for over 50 years. Protect your home with confidence. Breda, they handle bugs and critters. You know, Craig, I thought we were going to have to call Breda before the game. We had a wasp infestation up here in this open-air press box, but it looks like the issue has been resolved.
Yeah, I was a little nervous about that. Flying over our heads.
You know, they like to say with bees, if you leave them alone, they'll leave you alone. But that's not the case with wasps. They're very aggressive. They're always looking to start a fight.
Yeah, we're in their territory up here.
Of course, this is among the first events back here in Buck Godfrey Stadium since last spring, so they've had plenty of time to take up residence here in the press box. So 1st and 10 for Cedar Grove as we start the third quarter. Handoff goes to Kelly. He's going to be wrapped up and thrown for a loss. Great penetration by the Therrell defense right there.
I think that's the freshman, Rico Smith-Willis, number 58.
Yeah. Impressive play right there by the freshman to get in there and get the TFL. So maybe that's what they need here in this second half, a chance to take a look at some of the deeper reserves on this team and figure out if those reserves need to be playing more, getting more playing time. The third quarter is presented by Smart Local 85, and it's going to be second down and long. Josiah Moore is in there at quarterback to begin the second half for the Saints. And that was Jermaine Kelly who gets stopped. Another loss of yardage on the play.
And this time, number 55, Rodney Brown, right there with the penetration and nowhere to go on that play for Jermaine Kelly. Has to go down.
So what'd you think of the first half for Brandon Davis, the freshman starting quarterback? Went 7 for 12 and 85 yards passing.
Thought he looked really comfortable back there. You got to think a lot of that experience has come obviously from leading this middle school program, but then some of the action he's probably seen in 7-on-7. Maybe the pre-snap cadence, a few false start penalties is something he can add some comfort, but I thought overall, I mean, he looked poised out there, which is exactly what you want from a quarterback. It didn't look too big for him.
Looks like B.J. Jamison maybe lit a fire under this Therrell defense at halftime because they come out smoking. And it's going to be 4th down and long as the Saints lose yardage on 3 consecutive plays and now have to punt. Now let's see if the Panthers can sustain that level of intensity here.
And with 3 on the
third
play
quarter.
clock, they are going to take a timeout.
Yeah, didn't have a man on the field. Didn't have enough men on the field. They had 10, had to get 11 out there. And they have to burn a timeout here in the opening 2 minutes.
The Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic is brought to you by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Transform your future today. And presented by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 613. Electrify your career.
Zaxby's just dropped new lemon pepper. So you can get that zesty lemon and cracked black pepper flavor you love on the chicken you love. Lemon pepper fans, this one's for you. Zaxby's Lemon Pepper Dry Rub. Who's got the sauce?
Zaxby's.
At Breda, we made the decision to invest in infrared cameras. The infrared gives us a unique advantage because we can pinpoint that termite damage. We then use our microwave technology, which allows us to localize our treatment so we can get rid of those termites quicker before that damage becomes extensive. And that saves you a lot of money as a homeowner.
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
For a healthier future together, look to Northside Hospital.
So when I got in the program, I was 18. At the time, I think the most appealing thing was, I could start out going to school and making money while I'm going to school. Not coming out in 4 or 5 years, $30,000, $40,000 in debt. That was the biggest attraction to this. I got in 3 days after graduation and hadn't looked back.
At Zaxby's, you can lemon pepper any way you want. Get lemon pepper wings, lemon pepper sandwiches, or lemon pepper fingers. Now that's lemon pepper perfection. Zaxby's Lemon Pepper Dry Rub. Who's got the sauce?
Zaxby's.
Back coming out of the timeout. And a punting situation here for Cedar Grove as they've gone in reverse here to start this third quarter. And the punt by Moore. Kicks it away from the returner, going to hit at the 46 and bounce out of bounds at the 49. So Therrell going to start with good field position here in the third quarter as they try to get on the board. Saw DeAndre Johnson. We've talked about him in the first half, the guy that was back taking this punt for the Panthers. They expect big things out of him. And I think maybe the coaching staff, just kind of watching what was transpiring over there on the sideline, Craig, looks like they maybe wanted him to come up and attack that ball when it took the big bounce rather than let it just bounce out of bounds. But you got to feel for the players sometimes because it's a slippery slope right there. You come up and attack the ball and make a mistake, then you're going to get chewed out.
Exactly. You don't know which way it's going to bounce.
Exactly.
We talked about Coach Jamison declining the running clock. The defense came out with a really strong series. We'll see if some life has come into the offensive side as well.
Looks like we got a new quarterback as well. Handoff goes to Franklin, and Franklin gets down to the 41-yard line. Let's see what we got in there. Quarterback looks like, I think it's Antoine Young. Is it number 6 playing quarterback now? He was listed as the number 1 running back, and we have not seen him carry the ball. That's number 8, pardon me. That's Boston Carr on our roster. who is their starting linebacker, maybe their best player on defense. Indeed, it looks like Boston Carr is now taking the snaps. Well, I'll tell you one thing it does do is it gives them a much more physical presence at that quarterback position.
Yeah, linebacker at quarterback.
I mean, you can just tell he's a much bigger kid, much bigger body. Going to cut down on that problem with the high snaps.
Exactly.
Going to be harder to snap that ball over his head. So let's see how this works. I mean, this is what these opening games are all about. Number one, you want to get a win, obviously, all the time. That goes without saying. But number two, in a situation like Therrell's in right now, you got to be playing for the next 9 games and doing things here in the second half, if not to come back and win this game, to show improvement and be ready for the next game, which is next week against Miller Grove. Carr sprints out there, dumps it off to Streety. Streety misses, makes a couple of men miss, and goes down at the 41-yard line. Going to bring up 4th down and short. I think they'll go for it here. Why wouldn't you? Offense moving really slow, though.
Yeah, they're going to just fling this ball out.
I'd like to see Boston Carr run it. I mean, he's a big physical quarterback. Let me see what he can do with the ball in his hands. Let him try to get the first down. So 4th down and 2. It's a long 2. Got to get to the 39. So it's more like 3. Tried to pull him offside. Now the play clock is at 5. And now it's at 2.
Timeout.
And now a timeout's called. Let's see. A penalty flag falls. Let's see if they got the timeout before the penalty. So they did get the timeout, and we'll step aside with 4th and 2 coming up when we get back.
Careers.com Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic is sponsored by Georgia High School Sports Daily, live weekdays at noon on the Peachtree Sports Network and Atlanta News First. Georgia's Rome Office of Tourism, where the rivers meet and the mountains begin. Inspired Landscape Solutions, the smallest details make the biggest difference. And by the Georgia Elite Classic, Georgia's largest all-star games.
We're here for the walk-offs, the shutouts, the moments that make you nervous, and the ones that keep you coming back for more. No matter what your favorite Braves moment is, it happens here. Peachtree Sports Network. The Braves play here. Your Atlanta Dream are on Peachtree Sports Network. Looking for some payback against Golden State? See all the big shots and star power here. Dream Valkyries, Sunday at 8:30 on Peachtree Sports Network. This is the home of the GOATs, Friday Night Lights, and home of the Ballers. This is home of the Gamers. Peachtree Sports Network is the home of the Hustlers and home of the Speed Junkies. The Peach State plays here. Atlanta's home of live local sports is Peachtree Sports Network.
Okay, going back to 1.
This industry is my life. The Georgia film industry feeds my children, and it feeds my dreams, which are 2 very important things. The film community is a real vital ecosystem. You can make a living in it in an incredible town.
Real jobs, real impact. Support Georgia Films. Visit whygeorgia.com.
So back at Buck Godfrey Stadium, and a 4th down and 2 coming up for Therrell out of the timeout. Ball sitting at the 42. With Boston Carr in there playing quarterback for the Panthers. What's interesting is we have not seen Antoine Young in the backfield here today. Daviante Franklin has been the running back the entire game so far, and he's going to pick up the first down. Nice, strong run. So I think there must be something to be said, Craig, about those halftime speeches, because it looks like B.J. Jamison said something because his team looks different here in the third quarter.
Certainly. interesting decision to see Boston Carr in there at quarterback. I don't know if that's making Cedar Grove maybe respect his running ability, but we've seen some openings up front. Also credit to the offensive line for the Panthers.
So 1st and 10, ball at the 29-yard line. Handoff goes to Franklin, and Franklin moving the pile, picks up an additional yard down to the 26. And a solid 4.5-yard pickup there for Franklin. I mean, where was this Therrell team in the first half? They totally look different. I mean, playing with confidence and authority. They're firing off the ball at the line of scrimmage, getting blocks, opening up some holes. Second down from the 26. Franklin gets dragged down. Nice strong tackle right there by the Saints.
Looks like it's Mekhi Watson. We've seen him score the 3 touchdowns offensively, a big tackle. Nowhere to go outside.
Three total tackles and a TFL for Watson today defensively to go along with his 77 yards rushing. Third down and 4. I mean, it's extraordinary the difference in this Therrell team offensively and defensively since halftime. Looks like they swapped out with somebody else. Looks like a different team. Third down and 4. Carr to the air. It's caught to Johnson. Johnson is got the first down at the 20 or close to it, maybe a yard short.
Yeah,
out at the 21.
Be very close. Good play call, though. And right at the sticks.
I don't know if when the officials came over and asked if they wanted a running clock in the third quarter that set them off or not, but they're playing with a renewed enthusiasm here. Even though they're down 32, they have looked good on this drive, and they look good on their first defensive series.
Certainly. I mean, the tackles for loss on defense, setting up the good field position, and then this drive, we've seen more positive plays this drive alone than the entire first half.
Handoff goes to Franklin. Franklin shoots inside the 15 and down to the 12.
You see big number 77, Jaden Lewis on the offensive line. We see Ty Green, number 75. They have come out with authority on this series.
Yeah, Jaden Lewis, who you mentioned, 77. He's got prospect size at 6'5", 285 junior. He's a good-looking prospect lined up at that right tackle spot. And the Panthers are in the Ironworks red zone. Direct snap goes to the jet sweep. And still on his feet, no whistle, and dropped at the 7.
They're going to call forward progress, I think.
So that'll be 1st and goal to go now for the Panthers.
And that was a gutsy call. We've seen the problems with the snap all game, and to be able to execute that, it took perfect timing.
Yeah. Like I said, they look like a different team. They started this drive at the 9:36 mark, so they've held the ball for over 6 minutes now. I mean, they had trouble holding the ball for 6 seconds in the first half.
Absolutely.
Play gets blown dead.
Encroachment. Defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, that'll help out the Panthers.
Yeah, and we have some two-way players, but this is really the first long break this Therrell defense has gotten. Mm-hmm. They're able to execute and push this in. I mean, that Therrell defense is going to come out with a lot of energy once again. This is a big next couple plays trying to finish this great drive off.
So 1st and goal to go, ball at the 4. Franklin gets the handoff and down to the 1.
Seen a lot of jet motions, trying to get some indications pre-snap, but then once again, great blocking up front. That time number 50, Nasir Culpepper pulling and opening up that lane right up the middle.
Did they get body snatched at halftime? Because this is a different team. 2nd down and goal from the 1. Into the end zone for the first score of the day for the Panthers. Daviante Franklin with the 0 FG touchdown. And it's 32-6.
Yeah, a great drive. I mean, the snaps were all on point. Good push up front, and then a good job by Franklin ducking his way in and finishing at the goal line. A real positive drive for the Panthers, and that's got to make that sideline feel 100 times better.
So that ends up being an 11-play, 49-yard drive.
Probably the best drive of the game so far.
For either team.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. No doubt. Best drive for either team. And it chewed up over 7 minutes of the clock. Extra point presented by Eccles and Johnson. And the kick is blocked.
Yeah, it just took a little too long. Kicking that one, and Cedar Grove's all over it.
But what Therrell has done by scoring that touchdown is they've taken this game out of jeopardy, at least for the moment, of having a running clock in that fourth quarter, but keeps alive their chance of making a comeback in that final period. 2:06 to play in the third. It's 32-6.
Dang, where you get this car?
You need to join the union.
The union?
Absolutely. You can get 10 of these.
Union construction workers earn the highest wages with the best benefits and the most protection in the construction industry. Find your career in construction. Go to GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com and start your future today.
Great teams are committed, focused on the details, and work hard to be their best. From practice to games, right down to their gear. Your field is a critical part of the game that allows your athletes to showcase their abilities. Sports Turf is committed to bringing your team innovative sports surfaces with unparalleled performance. You bring the vision, our team brings it to life.
What happens after you graduate? Will you go to the next level? Will people have your back in the heat of battle? Will you still train like a champion in the pursuit of greatness? You will when you become an IBEW electrical worker. Join our team. Visit IBEW613.org.
You'll still have common days. Get caught in traffic during your commute. Overthink a text message. Get a song stuck in your head. This is not one of those days. A few weeks a year and you'll discover the most uncommon time of your life.
Back at Buck Godfrey Stadium after Therrell scored their first touchdown of the day to make it 32-6. And now the Saints get ready to get the ball back with just over 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter. No doubt the Panthers looked like a different defense when they came out. And then they looked like a different offense, too, with an impressive 49-yard drive that took over 7 minutes off the clock, which was not a good thing for Therrell. But at this point, they were just trying to do something positive, and they were able to do that. Finally got the offensive numbers out of the red as well, up to 28 yards of total offense now on the return by the Saints, up to the 38-yard line. And that's where Cedar will go on offense here late in the third quarter.
See Culpepper right there, number 50. He made some plays on that last series, getting into that Cedar Grove backfield.
Well, let's see if they're recharged here after sitting on the sideline. That was the longest break the defense has had. And it comes on the heels of halftime as well, so they should be well rested. They stick with Moore at quarterback, and he hands off, and Watson gets stonewalled. Wow. Again, renewed vigor here, and that's Boston Carr, who's now going both ways, makes the tackle from his linebacker spot, along with Braylon Love, the corner. Craig, interesting their decision to go with Josiah Moore here at quarterback in the second half after Brandon Davis had played so well in the first.
Yeah, I don't know if Coach Freeman just wants to see how he can handle, but certainly all the momentum was there.
Moore goes up top and nearly intercepted. Nabrell Culpepper, the freshman defensive back, got his hands on it, let it go through, and now it's going to be third down. Ready to take your high school team's program to the next level? Game Day Preps is the total stat solution to elevate your program. Game Day Preps can easily track stats and records as they happen, broadcast live feeds for fans, parents, and coaches to follow anywhere on any device with no signups. Third down for the Saints. And they, too, have looked like a different team in the negative here in the third quarter, at least offensively for sure. Moore out of the shotgun, looks, fires, and nearly intercepted, then nearly caught. Hendricks nearly got the deflection off the hands of Carr, and it's going to be fourth down, and the Panthers going to get the ball back.
Yeah, Boston Carr with a great play right there, diving for the pass breakup. Not a bad ball, but good job by Carr closing and getting in front of it.
So Moore will stay on to punt here, and the Panthers going to get the ball back. 1 minute left in the third quarter.
We saw Cedar Grove attempt a fake earlier, but not sure they'll do it this time.
Moore with the rugby-style kick. Going to be down at the 27-yard line, and that's where the Panthers will go on offense with 46 seconds left in the half. You run that fine line of going up and attacking the punt. And again, you can understand from the returner's standpoint, you don't want to go up there and make a mistake, but you have to be aggressive because of the fact the returner there did not be aggressive. It cost him about 10 yards on a bounce.
Yes, it did. We've seen a couple of plays like that so far, and honestly, we saw it yesterday, some of the games also. That's just some of the week one things you'd like to get cleaned up on, just how to not backtrack, know when to attack the bounce, and then, as you said, save yourself some crucial yards.
And that's 10 yards. That's a first down right there that they gave up. The ball was spotted at the 28, so Carr on the handoff to Franklin, and Deviante Franklin dives forward to the 32. Franklin now, 12th carry of the game, puts him up close to 40 yards. Maybe time for one more play here in the third quarter. They may not even run another play here in the third, taking a long time, and the play clock, still plenty of time left on that. Sprint out. Carr going to take a sack, then the ball is out. They're going to rule him down by contact at the 20-yard line. Big quarterback sack right there by Deshaun Hendricks on the final play of the third quarter.
He's
so
lucky to hold on to it.
Got after him right there as we reach the end of the first 36 minutes. 12 to go. In Decatur with Cedar Grove on top, 32-6.
What is GMFB overtime?
It's Peter, Jamie, Kyle, and Akbar breaking down the NFL.
Let's go.
5 days a week.
It's okay to be excited.
It's stats, predictions, analysis, and in-depth interviews.
Thank you guys for having me. I love you guys.
It's this, that, and a whole lot of...
What is GMFB Overtime?
It's football for everyone.
Weekdays at 10 on Peachtree Sports Network.
When I think about what has the power to change the world, it could all be said with just one word: kindness. And what if we lived with a heart of kindness? What if we loved like we've been loved? If that's all that we're remembered for, well, let that be enough. So when they stand and tell the stories of who we are and what we've done, of 1,000 things that we could leave behind us. What if we lived with a heart of kindness? What if we loved like we've been loved? If that's all that we're remembered for, well, let that word be kindness.
Start of the fourth quarter at Buck Godfrey Stadium in Decatur, in a 32-6 lead for Cedar Grove. Fourth quarter presented by IBEW Local 613. Matt Stewart and Craig Sager with you. Thanks for joining us. First game of this triple header in the Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic on this Friday afternoon. Two games coming up at Barron Stadium this evening. Up next, the 5 o'clock game. LaGrange and Cass. That should be a fun one, Greg.
Yeah, that's one of the ones where I feel like the score staff, we were split on who to pick in it. You look at Cass last year opening the season so great with Brody McWhorter, but then LaGrange, that was a team that came on so strong last year. They got Dylan Barber back at quarterback. He had a phenomenal run, and I just think both those teams are very capable of winning that matchup. And then, man, the nightcap with Caden Benson, all-state quarterback for Creekside, and then Aiden McPherson stepping in for Rome. I think this is going to be a great doubleheader.
3rd and 15. Carr goes up top, cannot connect with Streety here on the near sideline. It's going to be 4th down. Yeah, the Creekside and Rome matchup, a year in the making. Last year they didn't get to play this game because of the very unfortunate bus accident involving the Rome team right before that game, and they had all the injured players, and they elected not to play the game. Fortunately, no one was seriously hurt, but they had a bunch of bumps and bruises, some possible concussions, so they did not play that game. And so now they finally get to have that Rome Creekside matchup tonight, and should be a fun one.
That's right, and Creekside traveling to Rome, that's not even that far considering all the places they've played the last few years, going over to California, Texas, all over the place.
High snap, trouble for Therrell back there at the punting, and that's going to be a down at the 3-yard line. That will not be a safety, although they push him into the end zone. The forward progress will be turnover on downs at the 3-yard line, and that's where the Saints will take over on offense.
He just mishandled this snap. We'll see if it's, nope, not high, a good snap.
Just got to catch it and punt it. So we see some of the things that Therrell, not just Therrell, a lot of teams here after week one will be working doubly hard on their special teams. Unfortunately, it's just one of those things sometimes that gets lost in the shuffle. And I think that happens when you have a team, when you're replacing a lot of experienced players and you have a lot of inexperienced players, you spend a lot of extra time in practice working on just basics and fundamentals, and sometimes the special teams get lost in the shuffle. Josiah Moore stays in there at quarterback, gets the handoff off to Kelly for the touchdown. Or maybe that's Mekhi Watson.
Yeah, that'll be a face mask after the touchdown.
Zero FG touchdown, and that is the fourth. Yeah, that was Watson. That's his fourth touchdown of the day.
And that was a low snap, but credit for Josiah Moore picking the ball up, getting the handoff to Mekhi Watson as he's going downhill. Because that could have been a botch play.
How about that? A 4-touchdown day for the 5'11", 190 senior running back, Mekhi Watson, who Rich Freeman told us they're expecting a breakout year from him.
First foul, face mask, defense. The penalty would be enforced on the kickoff. Results of the play, touchdown.
And Mekhi Watson having a breakout first game here in 2025.
And doing his part on the defensive side as well.
Extra point presented by Eccles and Johnson. And the kick is no good. So 38-6. You know, they say the PAT kick is a high percentage play, so that's why you run it. But if you're not converting it, it's not a high percentage play anymore. I would focus maybe, if I don't have a strong kicker and until I know I have a strong kicker, I would focus on running 2-point plays.
Yeah, and it's not even just the kicker. We've seen, I think, one of them get blocked. That one, the snap was a problem. So even if the kicker isn't as consistent, you're having problems just snapping the ball, holding the ball. So that's something that, unless they get it confidently cleaned up later in the season, they might be thinking of going for two.
That's a great point. There's so much involved in the mechanics of a kick. It's not just the kicker. The kicker's the last part of it. Snap, ball's got to get back there clean. Got to be held and placed upright so the guy can kick it. And then the kicker's got to come through and do his job. And you got to have the offensive line blocking so no one gets through and blocks it. There's so much that can go wrong, I think, at the high school level. And, of course, there are some high school programs. They're blessed to have great kickers, and they have players that can focus on that in practice. But in some programs, that's not the luxury that you have. I just focus on the 2-point play and score that way, or try to at least. Breda Pest Management knows your house inside and out with a customized treatment plan that stops any bugs and critters. Breda does it right, protecting the inside and outside of your home. It's the bugs inside your house that you want gone. Breda, they handle bugs and critters.
Yeah, you got Mekhi Watson. Put him in on that 2-point conversion. He'll convert at least half of them.
Yeah, and that's better percentage than you're got right now going on the single-point PAT kick. Return back to the 20-yard line. That's where the Panthers go on offense. And quite frankly, Craig, I think at the high school level, there might be a little bit of embarrassment if you're just going for twos all the time. But you know what? I say forget that. You're trying to score points and win a game. If that's what you do, just do it. Who says you got to kick it? Go for two.
Yeah, you've covered a lot of Carver Atlanta games. They'll go for two.
Again, if you don't have confidence in that kicking game, why beat your head against the wall? Run the 2-point play. It might be a higher, and there's probably a very good chance it's a higher percentage play for you than the kick. So 1st and 10, ball at the 20, as the Panthers go back on offense. Of course, the lead is now pushed up over 30, but it has to be over 30 at the start of the fourth quarter for the running clock to come into play. Little gain, if any, at all. Actually lost a yard or two on the play. But I tell you what, Greg, regardless of what happens from here on out, I think Therrell finally found some positives that they can link into here in this second half. Now, they're not going to come back and win this game. And whether they score another touchdown, I think they saw enough there in that third quarter to give them something to build on this week heading into the Miller Grove game.
Completely agree, and you got to wonder if the coaching staff is going to be making some more tough decisions in terms of who's going to be starting at quarterback. some of the pieces they can move around. If you do put Boston Carr at quarterback, do you have to move some other guys around as a result?
Carr, heavy rush, and the ball is out, and they're going to rule that an incomplete pass. I'm not sure about that, but that's what they're going to rule on the field.
Yeah, Carr wanted a face mask, but he did not get the call, and then I wouldn't necessarily say he gave up on the play, but just kind of tossed it to the side. With about 3 defenders around him, you'll see someone gets a hand on his face.
Yeah, can't give up on the play. You got to keep playing through the whistle. Right there's the face mask, and that's not even an incomplete pass. That's a strip. Unless they blew the play dead, which they possibly could have, because you can't hear the whistle on the replay. They may have blown the play dead when they had him wrapped up and the face mask got snagged. Otherwise, that should have been a fumble. So 3rd down. Carr pump fake, fires underneath instead and missed his target. Crossing on the play. And that was Antoine Young. And it's going to be 4th down.
Yeah, and I would like to see Carr take off and run. A lot of space right there. And I feel like he has that ability.
You know, and you were talking a few moments ago about tough decisions they'll need to make. To me, they're really not that tough. You go back and watch the game film and who played and who produced, and not many of the people that were playing on offense and defense in that first half, but in that 3rd quarter I start the film and I start putting check marks down, and those are the guys going to get playing time against Miller Grove.
Yep. And we talked about the importance of each game with the power rating system. It's not just the region ones that are going to count, although those will be important.
That's absolutely right. Great point. In Region 5 2A, which the Panthers play in last year, in the traditional format, only 4 teams in each region went. Well, in their region, I think 6 teams. I think 6, maybe even 7, but at least 6 teams in that region in the power rankings qualified for the playoffs out of Region 5 2A.
Right, you got Hapeville, Charter, Carver, Atlanta, Lovett, Holy Innocents.
Therrell.
Yep, Therrell.
And there might have been one other. Snap, and they just did get it out of there. Catch is made at the 34. It was a fair catch, and that's where the Saints will go on offense with 8 minutes to play in this one, and a 38-6 lead for Cedar Grove.
The career path gives you leadership instruction so early. Decide to lead.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know. Just take it off.
Safety violation, unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
What happens after you graduate? Will you go to the next level? Will people have your back in the heat of battle? Will you still train like a champion in the pursuit of greatness? You will when you become an IBEW electrical worker. Join our team. Visit IBEW613.org.
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting 6 figures.
Hey, I have your back, you have my back. We're going to do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?
No other career path gives you leadership instruction so early. Decide to lead.
Cedar Grove headed back on offense with 8 minutes left in this one and leading Therrell 38-6. But an even second half, though. 6-6 for the two teams after a 32-0 lead for the Saints after 2 quarters of play. Matt Stewart and Craig Sager stick around. Coming up at 5 o'clock, we'll be sending you back to Rome and Barron Stadium for the first of the doubleheader coming from Rome with Rusty Mansell and Brandon Adams and the rest of the team standing by Cass and LaGrange to play the second game of the day, followed by Creekside and Rome in the nightcap. I'll head home, chill, and watch that one on television. Maybe be with you bright and early at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning for St. Pius and Dunwoody at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, followed by Houston County and Brookwood, which I think is going to be a great game at 1 o'clock, Craig.
That one is probably the most intriguing, to me at least. I just think with Houston County replacing A.J. Hill, they're still going to run that high-tempo offense, and it's a contrast of styles because Brookwood has that running game, and if they can keep the ball out of Houston County's hands, I really like their chances.
Let me tell you, Houston County going to be a little bit different this year. We all know them, Jeremy Edwards. We know their high-powered offense. That's what they're known for. I think, at least initially here, the strength of their team is on the defensive side of the ball. I've got 4 players, I believe,
yes.
4 players on the defensive side of the ball on my all-state team. Weston Ard, their linebacker, Cam Brown. Of course, Jordan Smith at safety, committed to Georgia. He's one of the top safeties in the entire country.
Right, and, yeah, A.J. Hill's going to be gone, but you look at Houston County, they always have outstanding quarterbacks. Offensively, they'll still be solid, but as you said, defensively, they're going to take a step forward this year. And what a test that will be trying to stop that Brookwood run game, because I don't think anyone can bring down Braden Tyson. He is massive. We saw him at the luncheon. He's gotten even bigger heading into this junior season.
He's worth watching. And, folks, tomorrow the 4 games on in the Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic will not only be here on Peachtree Sports Network, but also airing on Atlanta News First, Channel 46 in Atlanta. So a second option there for you to watch the games, and that'll be a lot of fun. But you're right, Braden Tyson, I personally think, even though statistically he doesn't have those numbers, he's got great numbers, but statistically he's not the number 1 running back in the state. But in my mind, I think he's the number 1 running back in the state. I swear he reminds me so much of Herschel Walker in his running style. Jonez Walton, of course, out of Central Carrollton. He might be the number 1 running back in the state. I really like Carson Baker coming out of Langston Hughes, who's committed to the Florida Gators. So some interesting things. I released my preseason all-state, all-classification team today for GPP Sports, and you can find that on Twitter and on their website. You talk about tough. An all-classification team. Now, that's tough. Ball up in the air and nearly intercepted at the 11-yard line.
And he got up there, but ultimately ran into his teammate, unable to hold it on. Real quick also, well, let's take a look at this replay. Nice spiral, good throw by Boston Carr, and nearly intercepted. Looks like ran into his own teammate.
Yeah, I think they found their quarterback.
Yeah, no, he looks.
They didn't know it was going to be their starting linebacker, but I think they found their quarterback.
He definitely looks like a quarterback back there.
He's just a great athlete, and I think the fact that he can really throw the ball too is impressive. Not just an athlete that can run it, but he can also, go through the manipulations of the quarterback, go through the progressions. And so I think they got something right there. It'll be interesting to see Therrell going forward with Boston Carr playing quarterback.
Certainly. And then one more talking point just about tomorrow's games. When you look at the Douglas County North Gwinnett, I feel like that's going to be a great matchup. Both those teams were very successful last year, but a team that I feel like there's kind of a lot of pressure on them to perform well is going to be McEachern. They're going to play Walton. I know they're confident they can win, but we really haven't seen the McEachern program catch fire and really get momentum in the season. If they come out with a big victory against Walton, I think they could be a favorite to win that region this year and crack that top 10.
Carr is going to go down finally at the 40-yard line. Yeah, I've got McEachern and Walton 9 and 10 in my preseason rankings. I do a separate rankings outside of GPB, and of course I also vote in their rankings, but I do a separate, and I've got I've got Walton 9, McEachern 10 in my preseason top 10 for 6A.
Yeah, I actually put McEachern at number 7.
Yeah,
so
I think they're good. I
think
so
I
you,
was
obviously.
the only poll that actually had them up there in the preseason. To me, it's just the conversation that I have with Coach Reed and his players. They really want to come out and make a statement in this first game. But Walton is going to be a team that you don't really know what it's going to look like, so that will be a factor for sure. They got a new coordinator.
4th and 9, and the wide receiver DeAndre Johnson took off sprinting. He was 20 yards downfield, and they still hadn't snapped the ball yet. Hey, come on, let's face it, Craig. Who knows more about high school football in Georgia than me and you? So our opinions are very valuable. So as we pat ourselves on the back, we're just joking, but I think we do. We study the game a lot. We spend a lot of the summer studying the ball while people out. I joked in my blog this morning, this is what I do for fun during the summer. I put together all state teams for all 8 classifications. And that's what I do for fun. So 4th down here, they push the ball back to the 41-yard line. After this play, I'm going to get your thoughts on who you would have on your all-state, all-classification team at quarterback. Carr across the middle and nearly intercepted again. Going to go incomplete, and the ball will go over on downs for the Saints at the 41-yard line. Okay, so you're putting together an all-classification, all-state team. I got 2 quarterbacks on my team. Who are your 2 quarterbacks?
That's a tough one. I really like Brody McCorder. I know he got hurt last year, but
that's an interesting choice because he doesn't have the body of work because he got hurt last year.
I know. But he's my guy. I've seen him play since his sophomore season. He's just a difference maker. He's the MVP of that Cass team, and they're a different team without him.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, I saw him go toe-to-toe with Cartersville when he was just a sophomore. Seen him do the late game comebacks, and I just feel like he's a guy with his decision-making. He's not going to make the stupid plays, not going to turn it over, and he's going to be the guy you want in the huddle to win you a game late.
So that's your 1. You get 2. You get 2 on my team. Keeper here by the quarterback, and he tumbles forward as a somersault. It's Josiah Moore. They've gone with Josiah Moore the entire second half, so they obviously had a game plan coming in to split the time between Brandon Davis in the first half, which was very successful with 32 points on the board, and then Josiah Moore in the second half. And they've scored another touchdown with him running the show.
Might go Kareem Hughley from Gainesville.
Yeah, that's a solid choice. I mean, I think he's not on mine, but I think at some point between now and the end of his career, and if he indeed ends up at Clemson where he's committed, he'll end up being on that team. I mean, kind of burst on the scene last year as a sophomore. They're running a screen, gets blown up. Super play out there on the edge. I think that might have been Camelo Lofton, who blew that play up for the Panthers. So my 2, I'm going Harrison Faulkner from North Oconee. I mean, he had over 3,000 yards passing, another 700 rushing. I think accounted for 43 total touchdowns last year, leading the Titans to the state championship. So I'm going Travis Burgess.
Yep.
From Grayson, who I think has just blossomed into a tremendous quarterback at 6'6". Has a great skill level, can run it even though he's 6'6". Got a high ceiling. So those are my 2.
Yeah, he is an impressive-looking player. Just seeing him at the luncheon, he already looks like a
small forward.
Yeah, he looks like he should be playing for the L.A. Lakers. I was going to say he looks like a college quarterback already, but, I mean, he's even bigger than that.
He looks like he would play the 3 in basketball. He's either, a small forward or a big shooting guard, one or the other. Got a man down. My running backs, I went Carson Baker, Braden Tyson from Brookwood, and Jonas Walton from Central Carrollton. And Jonas Walton putting together a spectacular career Your injury report is presented by Northside Hospital, and we can report that we got a man down on the field.
Yeah, and Jones, he's just a true power back. I expect him to have a huge season, and Central Carroll's been on the rise.
Mm-hmm. They live in the shadow of the Trojans.
Yes, they do.
Out there in West Georgia, but they have really put together a strong program there in Carroll County. Jonas Walton being a big part of that. I think he's already going into his senior season. He's committed to Notre Dame. He's already at over 4,000 yards career rushing.
Yeah, and then in terms of receiver, real quick, the AJC Super 11 had 2 guys on there, and I'd probably agree with it. You got Aaron Gregory, the highest-rated receiver, and then Craig Dandridge. He is unbelievable. He's probably the fastest receiver with that breakaway speed, 22 miles per hour. And then when you look at Cambridge last year with Tyler Jones coming there, they had a great passing offense, but I feel like they're going to rely on him even more this year, and he might put up some huge numbers. I'm talking multiple 200-yard games and probably about 10 targets a game. They are not going to be afraid to throw his way.
No, Lofton goes back and gets on top of that punt after bobbling it, and the Panthers will go on offense, likely for the final time here with 2:40 left in this ball game. Stick around, coming up at 5 o'clock, so very shortly following the conclusion of this one, we're going to send you to Barron Stadium in Rome for Game 2 of our triple header as LaGrange takes on Cass. So I agree with the Aaron Gregory and the Craig Dandridge. I also had Devin Carter, Aaron Gregory's teammate with Douglas County, on my all-state, all-classification wide receiver team. And then I had one more. Oh, the young man from Lee County, the junior.
Yep, and then I feel like on defense, I mean, especially linebacker, it's a no-brainer with Tyler Atkinson. That guy.
To me, he's the top player in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, not the top player in the state, he's the top player in the country.
He somehow has found a way to get better each season, too, which is pretty amazing. I remember when that coaching staff first got to Grayson after Coach Carter left, they were talking about how this freshman, Tyler Atkinson, was one of the strongest guys on the team. So he already had that strength, and then he adds something to his game all the time. He's just incredible.
Lofton with the catch and run for the Panthers out across the 50-yard line. So whatever the Panthers found there at halftime and brought out for the third quarter, need to bottle that up and take it to practice with them this week, get ready for Miller Grove, because the team they put out here in the second half is competitive. They can compete. They can win games. The team they had out here in the first half can't. But the second half team, much different team. Impressed with what we saw from those guys here in the third and fourth quarter. Yeah, Tyler Atkinson to me is the most dominant defensive player in the country. Maybe one of the most dominant defensive players I've ever seen at the high school level. Of course, last year in the 6A state final, which we televised on GPB, Carrollton and Grayson, you had the number one offensive player, Juju Lewis, and all power to Juju Lewis. Looks like he's going to be the starting quarterback for the Buffaloes this year, and I wish him nothing but the best. And you had Tyler Atkinson for Grayson at linebacker. But to me, it was clear-cut, not even close. The best player on the field was Atkinson.
Yeah, it was almost like he was in Coach King's head in that game. They just couldn't find a way to stop him, and he's just so fast to the football, and he's a guy that, I mean, he's putting up those like Jesse Tuggle numbers in terms of how many tackles he's had a season.
I think I don't know off the top of my head, I believe this season he's got a real crack to blow past the 500 career tackle number, because he's been playing since he's a freshman. I think he's up over 400 already going into his senior year.
I think there was a playoff game last year. It might have been in the semifinals. He had over 20 tackles in that game.
Let's look it up.
He had 182 his junior or sophomore year, I think.
I mean, he's been putting up close to 200 every year. I think he finished at 166 last year. This is what I love about high school football in 2025. There are so many resources you can access now. The advancement in information of high school players, not just recruiting-wise, but just information-wise, has grown so much. Pass, nice comeback and catch, but he's going to be out of bounds. It's not going to count.
Then, Matt, if you were to pick a kind of an MVP
So hold on a
this
second.
game-
We're going to 475 tackles.
Oh, so he's already there.
Yeah, he's at 475 going into his senior year. He might get over 600. He's a good shot. If he does his average, he's going to go over 600 career tackles, 79 TFL, 31 and a half quarterback sacks in his career, and that's leading into his senior year tonight when Grayson plays Collins Hill. Amazing stuff right there. I know all the Georgia fans just hate it that he committed to Texas. But young man's got to do what a young man's got to do. 4th down and 4. Maybe the final offensive play of the game here for the Panthers. They're going to throw it up top, and it's nearly intercepted. Ball's incomplete. Going to go over on downs. So because we have the triple header here, we're not going to be able to have the post-game interview and MVP award, but we're going to do it unofficially, right? We're going to go Mekhi Watson, and you're going to interview it, and you'll have it on the Corky Kell Twitter
Yes,
feed?
I'm going to grab Jordan to interview it. So we'll talk to Coach Freeman after, give him the Corky Trophy, and then this will be the Robbie Hunter MVP award.
Yeah, so
and
just
well-deserved by Mekhi Watson.
Go to the Corky Kell Classic Twitter feed, and that's where people can find the interview, right?
Correct.
Okay, there you go. So, because we'll be getting ready to head to Rome here in a couple of minutes, down to 57 seconds left in regulation in this one. And certainly, Mekhi Watson, a deserving candidate with 4 rushing touchdowns today, 10 carries, or make that 12 carries, 79 total yards rushing.
And then what did he do defensively?
Okay, let's see what he did. Let's see, Mekhi Watson. They finished with, well, they've got him for 3 total tackles and 1 TFL. So a big, strong day for Mekhi Watson and this Cedar Grove team as they are going to begin the 2025 year with a victory heading into their game against Collins Hill 2 weeks from now. Cedar taking a knee. And we're just getting started here on Peachtree Sports Network today. This will wrap up game 1 of the triple header. Double header coming up from Barron Stadium in Rome in 26 seconds.
Yeah, well, we talked about how we thought these teams would still be making adjustments a couple games in the season, but this just validated that. Seeing what Therrell did in the second half, great adjustments, and obviously a great debut for Cedar Grove also, but this is a good test for both these teams.
Yeah, great start to Rich Freeman in his career coming over from Morehouse College, coming to the high school ranks, leads Cedar Grove to an impressive 38-6 victory over Therrell here today in the opening game of our triple header on Friday in the Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic.